I always assumed that that was Carol in the picture there underneath the Elsie mask, and found out 30 years later that it wasn't. So I did, my music, my art came into focus. I ended up getting a deal with a really cool record label in England, and I knew that I was going to do something to in tribute to Richard's art, and it would be around this piece. And I waited till I got a label deal and some cool people behind me to do it, and it all came together, and it was just perfect. And I was showing it to a friend of mine, and he was like, well, have you reached out to the artist who did that image? And I was like, it's my image. Because I did, I bought it from Mike McGugan for $275, which I later found from Richard was like, he's like, the frame cost more than $275. But $275 in early 90s money when you're working at a cafe it took me a couple months to save up for it, and drove out to the mill in a little sedan, and I didn't have anything to carry it home on, so I had wrapped it in blankets and strapped it to the roof of my car and drove home with it, and it's been at the center of our life pretty much ever since then. So anyway, I was like, you know what, I probably should go ahead and reach out to him. He's alive, and I know I can get in touch with him. I found him online, and I got in touch with him, and I was afraid that he was going to say, that's my art, and blah, 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 and you can't use it. And I had this album done, and I was ready to go with it. And he was so excited about it. He was like, you can use any of my art for whatever you want to do for the rest of your life, and you can interview me, and I'm going to help you with this thing. And I was like, I don't know why I didn't just trust that. I should have just known, based on his art, that we would be simpatico that way, but it was precious to me, and I wanted to hold on to it. So anyway, we did put this album out. For a cult record like this, I talk about like a record label deal. It was 500 CDs, but that went all around the world, and there's a lot of people now who are into weird music and weird art who now know of him like they should have known about him years and years and years ago, and I'm just so thankful for that. The other amazing thing that Richard did was I was talking to him on the phone a lot in this period, and he was telling me all the history about these, and I learned all about these pictures, and I finally got, like I thought this was some kind of like occult masterpiece, like it was Hathor, the Egyptian goddess, and I had all these just crazy ideas in my head. Richard's like, no, I thought the Minotaur needed a girlfriend. And I was like, oh my God, this is like all my life I've just overcomplicated and overthought so many things. No, Minotaur just needed a girlfriend. And I was like, that's so much better than what I could have come up with. But I did find out that that's not Carol in the mask. He was a model, and we didn't know who the model was. He had only ever used her for one session, and there was no chance that he was ever going to be able to figure out who she was. But anyway, I'm sitting at home one day, and I get this phone call, and I'm like, I pick it up, and I'm like, this is Craig. And I hear this voice, and this voice goes, Craig. And I go, yes? And she goes, this is Mother Moon, which was my name for the picture and the name for the album. And I was like, I started having like an out-of-body experience. I'm like, I don't know what's happening here. I'm having a stroke or something. But come to find out, it was, Vicki, can you stand? Richard brought Vicki Armstrong into my life. She's the model. In 1973, we think, she did one session with him, and there's several pictures that you guys have already seen up here with her in it.
High Museum. Yes.
In the High Museum. Did you know you're in the High Museum? She didn't even know. She had never seen these pictures. Like right at her 70th birthday, Richard managed to track her down and told her about this. And she had never even seen these photos. And just the magic of that, like Richard traveled time, like over 50 years, and aligned us together. And we went out to Richard and Carol's place a couple times. Vicki got to come out here and be reunited with them because Carol was at this session.
Always.
And always. And I guess in closing, as much as I'm in love with Richard's work to the point that I ended up writing a book about the mill and about this piece and about Richard and interviewing him for it because I had to honor him because he changed me so much. What I really have to do is say thank you to Carol, because you told me the last time that I was at your house that you felt called to find, that you knew that there was a great artist out there who needed you, and that you were going to find that person and elevate them and protect them from the world and that you had the heart to let a dreamer dream is just mind-blowing to me. They don't make people like you anymore. So just thank you guys for coming into my life. Thank you for impacting me. And I hope that my feeble efforts here do help get him the audience and the immortality that he needs scattered in little places around the world. Thank you.